Model documentation is an important and crucial element in a model risk management practice. Model documentation fosters transparency, it facilitates knowledge transfer, and it ensures an improved collaboration between all different stakeholders within your model risk management practice. The primary purpose of model documentation is to provide a comprehensive understanding of the functioning of the model, as well as its underlying assumptions and limitation. Ideally, your model documentation contains four main elements. First, your data sources that you have utilized as part of your model development process. Secondly, the choice of your modeling techniques, as well as the limitations of your models. And finally, the result of your performance testing that you have conducted on your model. Making sure that all these details are sufficiently detailed within your model documentation will improve the collaboration between model development and validation team and enable a more effective and efficient model validation process. Challenges in model documentation often arise from a lack of widely adopted standards within your organization, which then leads to inconsistency. It is important to note that models change over time. You add updates, you add modification, you improve your model, and when you conduct periodic monitoring activities and validation activities, you need to make sure that all these changes and activities are captured in your model documentation. This is typically a time-consuming and labor-intensive process. Another important challenge within model risk teams and creating model documentation is that the skills differ. So the written language skill can differ from one team member to another team member, but also the time they have available to write model documentation can greatly vary among the different team members. So this can also impact the quality of your model documentation. And finally, a final challenge I'd like to share is that models have become increasingly complex, increasingly interconnected. So the output of one model can be the input of another model, and capturing all these dependencies, capturing all that complexity within your model documentation can be challenging. Models are continuously developed, monitored, and validated, requiring users to update the model documentation over time. In practice, and unfortunately, of course, the model documentation process is quite labor-intensive, is quite time-consuming, and is also prone to human error. Fortunately, technology can help. Technology can streamline the model documentation generation process and automate the process so that your talent can focus on what they do best, so that they can focus on value-add work instead of repetitive manual activities. Your model development team should focus on what they do best, which is creating new models. We have built technology, we have built the model documentation builder that enables you to automatically update your model documentation as soon as a new model becomes available. With placeholders within your model documentation template, you can automatically capture the qualitative information from your model inventory, but also the quantitative, so your test results from your testing platform. Through automating this model documentation generation process, you can reduce the process that can initially take a couple of months to seconds or days only.